Hello there, Internet people. It's your good buddy Rue, here to do one of his top 3 favorite things ever, and that's talk about comic books. So let's get started. Green Lantern Corps number 52. Now, this event has been going on way too long, or at least it just feels like it. Maybe it's because Blackest Night has got too big, encompassing the entire DC universe, and unlike Sinestro Corps War, where they kept it contained, basically, let's be honest, just in the Green Lantern books. But this series, this storyline just feels like it wasn't planned to be as big as it is. And I'm enjoying parts of it. I love the twist of Sinestro as the White Lantern. Let's be honest, we all figured it's going to be Hal Jordan. But even this issue right here that has this great cover, where you were expecting somebody else, yaka, 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 reads like one of the old GLC books from a couple weeks ago where Kyle Rayner died. And so I just feel that this entire thing is not planned to be as big as it is, and it's just gotten too repetitive, and it just needs to end. And I'm glad it's almost done. I think like next week 8 comes out or something, and I'll be very glad when this is done. And if Brightest Day doesn't impress me, I might be done with all of Green Lantern. I'm just so bored with it right now. Even with this cool shirt, I love the logo. I love Green Lantern, but the Blackest Night has really turned me off. Nascent Next, number 4. I only picked up issue 4 of this series. It's a 4-part miniseries that, if this is seriously the final one, the culminating issue, this series must have sucked. If anybody out there read all 4 issues, I'm curious as to what made you stay past issue 1. I only got this one because Dupe's on the cover, and Rue loves Dupe. But even that 5 to 10 page story wasn't worth the amount of money I paid for this comic. When I finished this, I was mad I paid for it. I should have figured out a way to Brian steal this or whatever. Really awful comic. Unless you love Dupe and need every single comic Dupe is in, don't fucking bother. That was just a horrible comic book. It's a mini-series that I am enjoying, Prelude to Deadpool Corps. I've been talking about this past couple weeks. I just realized this week this is the same guy who writes the crap fest that is Merc with the Mouth. I don't understand how he can have one good Deadpool, one shitty Deadpool book, but he's doing it, and this is the good one, which means hopefully Deadpool Corps will be a good one. But if you don't know, Merc with a Mouth ends with issue 13. So, that is one piece of good news. Because I'm sorry, I hate that book, and I'm so glad that I can stop buying it because it's my fault, and I'm not blaming Deadpool or Marvel or anything. It's my fault that I'm a completist, and I have to finish that series. But it sucks. I'm glad it's done. Uncanny XMen number 522. Seriously, this series right now under this creative team of Fraction, Portantino, whoever's drawing this issue, Land, and Dotson, this book officially sucks. I'm sorry, I've been through lots of shitty Uncanny runs. Austin was the first to come to mind. I honestly thought I could handle anything. But this issue right here, with boring art, a stupid main story that just makes no sense, I'm not going to drop it because, well, next month we start Second Coming, and hopefully with Carrie and Yost and everybody there to help move that story along, this will get better, Uncanny will. But oh my god, Land's porn faces, Fraction's overrated abilities, I'm really going to detest and loathe Uncanny every month. There were some highlights of this issue with the main story, the vegetable line, Reed Richards chiding the X-Men or whatever you want to call it, but on the whole, the main story of this issue was one big midi-chlorian bullshit bag of crap. If you skip issues of Uncanny, or if you're just looking to jump on for a Second Coming and maybe pick up a book beforehand to catch up, don't bother. 522 sucked. Secret Warriors number 14. I've officially stopped trying to understand why people love this book. I am happy for you that you like a book. I'm not going to be upset with you because your opinion is different than mine. I just don't get it. I don't get the love for this comic book. And next issue, because I pre-ordered things, issue 15 is the last one I'm getting. This has officially been dropped from my pull list. Enjoy it. I hope everybody who loves this book, I hope it has a long shelf life for you, but I don't get it. I really don't. And finally for this week, XFactor number 203. And I want to highlight this because Peter David was able to write in a Marco Polo joke, and it actually worked really, really well. That amused me. I actually had to stop and make sure that I saw it right, and I did. One other thing, I have no idea who the guy is in this last page. I think it's supposed to be some kind of reveal. and I'm supposed to be shocked. All it really did was confuse me, and I just noticed in the camera, that's a really good cleavage shot. Look at that. I didn't notice that before, but I'm looking at the camera as I showed it to you. But honestly, I don't care. I didn't understand who that reveal was, and probably by next issue I'll look it up, or there'll be a synopsis, and he'll explain it to me, and I'll be like, oh, that's pretty cool. But for the most part, this is a strong guy-centric comic, and it's funny. The Marco Polo joke really did. I had to stop because I was laughing so hard. This, honestly, XFactor, if you're not reading it, dude, why aren't you reading it? Now, here for a second, I'm going to highlight books from last week that I missed because of the trade special. I'm not going to highlight all of them, but last week there were 3 books especially, ongoings, that I highlight why I love comic books. And I say this, and I say this with all sincerity, and I'm trying not to be hyperbolic here. I cannot think of a better week of comics than March 17th, 2010. Besides Batman, which I don't know anybody who gives a fuck anymore, it was a great week of comics from Siege, Siege Embedded, a whole bunch of other books, but these 3 especially, I need to highlight. Nova, number 35. I have a complete run of the original New Warriors, and I never understood the Sphinx, like his appeal. And even the past couple issues of this, I was like, okay, the Sphinx is there, yippee. But just watching Reed Richards respect what Nova's become, and then the character development of Darkhawk were highlights of just those past couple books. And then we got to the end of this issue. I'm not sure if I can spoil it for you or what that means, but if you love the old school New Warriors, if you what happened before Civil War and all that stuff, pick up this issue, because at the end of it, and then you'll realize that he's going home next issue with the consequences and everything. I'm very ecstatic to see where Nova's going next. Again, another of these books from last week that I just loved, Guardians of the Galaxy number 24. If you read this, and you were even trying to tell me that you knew what was in the cocoon the whole time, what was in the cocoon? I'm going to call you a liar. I don't believe you. I refuse to believe that you were able to predict that. This was a great comic book. From the return of Cosmo, to Rock Raccoon's unbelievably big gun, to Groot taking his seat on the council, to the very last page of this issue of Guardians of the Galaxy, this is exactly what comic book should be. This is what Green Lantern Corps wants to be, I think. Nova's what Green Lantern should be. It should not be the other way around. Green Lantern should be the thing Nova strives to be, not what it is right now. When I finished this book, and I looked at the last page, I was praying that I had number 25. Because I was upset that I couldn't keep reading, and I want next month to be here now, just so I can keep reading Guardians of the Galaxy. And the fact that I need it, I'm craving it, that's the mark of a great comic book, is the fact I don't want it to end. It's like the end of a television show that says to be continued. You didn't realize the hour was up. I didn't realize I'd read as many pages as I'd read. It was a great book. And finally, from last week, Dark Avengers number 15. If a year and a half ago, you would have told me that this book would have been as great as it's been, and I expected it to be good, I'm not sure I would have believed you. And I'm very sad to see what's going to happen to this when Siege is over with. But issue 15 is a perfect example of just bad guys being bad guys, and just tension and shocking moments. Even the tension and the build up between Sentry's wife and Bullseye. The way it ended was predictable, but at the same time surprising, that the fact that it actually happened. If you haven't been reading Dark Avengers, any of the 15 issues, if you skipped this series because right now it's cool to hate Bendis, then you've been missing out on a great series. I'm sure there'll be an omnibus, especially if this ends with 16 or 17. But honestly, month to month, it's been a great comic. That's it for this week. There's some things I skipped that's on the list over there on YouTube. Go to the Outhousers to see a text review if you care at all. And also next week, I will be answering some of the Ask Ru questions. So if anything you think that you care that I answer, and judging by how many people respond or leave comments on anything I do, there's like none of you that care. So like I said 2 weeks ago, I might be making up questions to amuse myself. But other than that, you guys have a good one, and later, peeps.